Hi, I expect in this video to talk about SAS versus open source. So, to answer to this question, why learn SAS and how do I learn SAS? So, first of all, I think it's very important to understand the difference between SaaS platform and several open source on the topics from statistics and data science. Open source, it's really designed to make research. It's not designed to be put in production. It's really great, open source to have many package. So with R for statistics and with Python, there is a very wide offer of package and it's free, but it's not designed to put in production. What I mean in production, there is a big difference between the real data scientists who make model but also put model in production and people that I call Kagler, which is not very nice for myself. So Kagler, it's someone who, for example, copy paste some code from a GitHub and pretend to be an expert in a great open source language, but never put a single model in production. So to make the difference between the real data scientist and the Kaggle, just ask how many models did you put in production and were you able to maintain them over years? I mean, I have put some model. I've got a project, for example, in 2005, and in 2020, I get an email from my colleague. The model you developed 15 years ago, it's still in production, and we do the migration from SAS Enterprise Miner to Model Studio on SAS Via, but your project, which is 15 years old, it's still running. So that's putting model in production. And in this project, there was the training code, but also the score code and how to auto adapt the hyperparameter from the model to the new situation, to the new customer behavior. So that's really another mindset to think production. Many data scientists, researchers, just think I do a model and finish. When you need to put many models in production, it can be complex with open source rather than when you've got one single stable platform, you can manage them over time. So put model in production, it's mean be able to have the full life cycle from analytical life cycle from getting the data, prepare the data, understand the data, make the model, but also monitor the model in production. And if one model didn't perform as well as you expect, then you get an alert, and someone else will have to update the model. It's a very different mindset. So a full platform, it's not open source package. And for SaaS, when you've got some compliance for it can be for a bank to the central bank, when you've got an inspector who want to see what you've done, how do you do your risk modeling, etc. Really, SaaS is very accurate on the topic. Accuracy is something also important. The, in SAS, there is many ways to make the mathematical part, the programming part, very stable and precise. So when you need really accuracy, SAS is designed. Performance, that's a key issue. I see many projects where in R&D, they develop their own model, and when they try to put it in production, even if they use on the cloud many servers to try to get all the engine available to make running the model, it wasn't perform well. In average, SAS is running more than 30 times faster than Python. So when you've got very large database, you can't open it with air. Just try to get a 50 gigabytes database on many laptops. You just can't, even if you've got four times more memory RAM available on your laptop, you can't just even open the data bar. So when there is performance trouble, when there is compliance, when there is this problem to maintain, if you've got a SAS code developed 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or yesterday, it's still running on SAS VIA. It can be a large nightmare. I see so many people who just get crazy when it's moved from Python version 2 to version 3. And it's happened for myself to get more than 10 versions of R or Python on my laptop, because for this package, it's on this version and not on the one. It's mean you can't maintain them over years. The SaaS platform is with many solutions which are no code. It's not only one people who develop some code, it's many people who work together. And it's to be a good SaaS consultant, I think it's really important in many cases, not all the case, but in many cases, to know well how to code in SaaS to get a job where you will quite never code on SaaS. And these no-code interface are really useful to maintain over years, to have this philosophy of flow or pipeline, whatever the word you use, which is very different. It's not to have my single code and only myself can maintain it over years. So it's come up to discuss a little about the total cost of ownership for the platform. And I really like this 5 years period. And on if you've got a project, a big project where you need compliance and or performance. And if you have a look on the total cost of ownership, we will have a lower total cost of ownership with the SaaS platform. Even if the software is quite expensive, but the total cost of ownership, it's also machine or how much you consume from the cloud. Um, so I just tell SAS is much faster than Python. SAS consume really less IT resources or memory and CPU, and in big project it can be a big cost. But the biggest part from the total cost of ownership, it's about human. It's the people who work on the project. And if you develop everything with open source, it's mean you will need to maintain your code every years, because there is a new version from your open source package and you have to maintain it, and it can be really a nightmare to maintain your platform over years. So many organizations have to use SaaS because it's the platform with the lowest total cost of ownership. A little example to get it, with an expensive license from SaaS at 1 million per year, and we will consider one employee cost 100K per year, which is not the truth, but make the calculation easier. If you've got 30 employees on your project, your total cost of ownership will be 50 million for your employee, plus 5 million on SaaS, plus the platform. I will let it over, but something like 20 million. Rather than with open source, there is no licenses, it's free, but you will need to increase your team. And the first year, it will be 30 people, and the second year, probably 50 people, because you have the new development, but you have to maintain what you developed last year. And the third year, you have to maintain what you developed the first year, the second year, and the new development. So your team get so big that at the end, the total cost of ownership will be much, much higher. So be careful on the topic. That's why it's really two different philosophy, open source or SaaS. And if you have a look on job offer, most of the job offer on data science or on statistics are with open source, it's true. But for big project in production, when you need to comply to different rules, when you've got and or performance issue when you need to maintain over years with really accuracy, SAS can be the good platform. So there is good job offer for this project. It's in many financial institution, bank, insurance, but also life science and public sector and so on. So um, learning SAS, it's for specific project in production. There is many organization where I've seen in R&D they are using open source, and in production in the same organization there we developed everything in SAS because there is some maintenance and or compliance and or performance issue. So these two different worlds, but don't make war between these two worlds. Try to fill the bridge. And to get a SAS job, you can go on SAS Skill Builder. So just type SAS Skill Builder in Google, and you will have access for free to the e-learning to know how to code in SAS and to prepare the bass programming certification, the advanced programming certification. So when you finish the e-learning, you will get this green badge, and if you pass the exam, you get the blue badge, which means really you understand the lesson and you are an expert on the topic. There is certification on statistics, on data science, on business analysts and other field. Thank you for your attention. I wish you all the best.